Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody that is coming out of a bit of a hermit phase with the space card. This could be somebody who was taking time away from social events or even maybe talking with you because they needed to figure out what they wanted. They weren't 100% sure they were choosing the right path. But then the risk card comes out. I'm ready to take a leap of faith and risk it all for you. So after thinking about what they want with you and taking a little bit of space for themselves, the decision has been made and they want to make sure that they are in your life or that you are in theirs. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchanton. And I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Hello, music. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Hey, how's it going, Peggy? So nice to see your name. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Hello, Kristen. Hello, Jordan. How's it going? Hello, famous Seamus. Hello, Groundhog. Good morning. Let's dive in. So I think we need to know a little bit more about this person, don't you? This is the Weird Cat Tarot. Good morning, Aqua Beauty. Sending you some good energy. It's Sunday. Are y'all gonna be lazy today? Or are you gonna get a lot of stuff done? It's like kind of cold here. I got to wear a sweatshirt this morning. It's so nice. Hello, Dana. Hello, April. Hello, Steven. How's it going? What else do we have? We have the Devil in the reverse, Three of Wands in the reverse, and the Eight of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so there's been some hesitation or procrastination that this person has had to battle. And I love that we have the Devil in the reverse, because this is saying that the things that I was avoiding or I wasn't really taking action on, I've decided that I needed to be more honest with myself about what was going on. This cat and the Eight of Swords in the upright, eyes are closed, right? I'm not seeing anything. I don't want to deal with anything. But it's in the reverse because this person's acknowledging what they need to change or being honest with themselves about what they were doing to maybe kind of devalue or walk away or ignore the connection that they had with you. I love it, Peggy. Hello, Lana. How are you doing? Procrastination. All right, so we've got the Two of Pentacles in the reverse and the Queen of Wands. Eight of Wands. Lots of fire energy. Okay. So I know that I created some problems in our connection. I needed to be honest with myself about what I was doing to make that worse or, make things difficult on purpose. And now that they've been honest with themselves, right? Now that they have maybe even regained some of their confidence or realized that they have this opportunity to be really happy with you, now they're ready to communicate. Eight of Wands is about action, but it's also about communication, and you might be getting both. Sorry. It's Sunday morning. I probably should be a little bit more PG. Hello, Abdul. How are you doing? I don't know, because the people who describe fortune tellers' dens have good taste. Hello, Boomy. How's it going? Hello, Glenn. Don't you even say hi to people before you give them a request like that? Hey, how's it going? Hello, Gerlene. How you doing? Hola, Jose. Hello, Swati. Hello, George. We've got the Ten of Swords in the reverse and the World in the reverse. It is not over. I'm not over you. I have taken some time, but I'm ready to pursue you. They're feeling like they've accomplished a lot. they're feeling maybe stronger than they have in a long time. That could be more like a mental or emotional type of strength, but I do feel like for some of you, this person might have been going to the gym to get some of that like prime time to think, right? You're like, oh, maybe people leave me alone there. It's going well. Thank you, Gerline. Hello, Lemonade. How are you doing? Hello, Skyla. Hello, Michael. Happy Sunday. How's Freya? We've got Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Page of Pentacles is in the reverse. Yeah, they feel like they kind of fumbled a bit. They feel like they kind of messed up the opportunity, but they have this hope that there's still a strong connection between the two of you because of how you feel for each other. A willingness to understand that sometimes life gets a little bit messy and maybe there's still a chance, right? Hello, Illuminati. What's going on? Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. They are nervous. They feel like there's a sense here that they may have already lost you. So it's like at that point where they feel like they have to go big or go home, right? If I really want to get your attention, I can't just be sending you a regular old text message. I can't just be like asking, you know, what you doing. I'm going to have to make it clear that the time that I've taken to myself has helped me to appreciate how much this connection means to me. So that's what they're trying to figure out right now is how do I express that, or how do I make sure that when I communicate, it's clear that I've had some really positive soul searching and found out how to maybe appreciate like that love that they feel from me. Are they the best, Peggy? Oh, you haven't, have you seen the Tarot of the Cat People yet? I'll use that one next if I remember. Sometimes I say I'm going to use a deck next and then I get distracted. Sorry. Hello, Toon. How are you doing? Hello, Janet. What else do we have? Break time. Time apart will be beneficial to this connection. That's what we're finding out, right? This person took some time to themselves. They're seeing things more clearly and seeing themselves more clearly. Self-awareness is so critical in a relationship. We spend so much time talking about how it works interpersonally and how you treat each other, that sometimes what gets lost in the shuffle is just how important it is that you know how to treat yourself. Because if you know how to treat yourself, you're probably going to do better in a relationship. This person has discovered the importance of loyalty, and I think also discovered they really don't have any interest in others at this time, at least. But I think they really wanted to make sure that they were certain. They've been guarded or kind of keeping you at a distance because they really needed to figure out what they wanted. Maybe this is just someone who's very cautious with their heart or very cautious with others, not wanting to get into drama, right? Okay, I actually remembered. Tarot of the Cat People, here we come. Here's the High Priestess, Peggy. Isn't it beautiful? But hopefully you saw the cats in the background. Hello, Danya, how you doing? Hello, Celtic Yog. I do a general reading, and if we reach $15 in tips, then I take personal questions at the end with priority to those who donated. But I also offer long-form personal readings, and my email address is in the description box for you. If you send me an email, then I will tell you how that works out. But it is ad-free, and I usually return your readings within 24 hours of payment. Hello, Ghostly Poet. I feel that. You gotta be careful, right? Hello, Dharmendra. How you doing? So we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse, the Death card in the reverse, and then the Wheel of Fortune. Again, I didn't take action, or I didn't, communicate what I was intending because I needed to figure it out. But now that I figured it out, I can see what I need to change, or I can see what I want. This Wheel of Fortune is almost like about planning. Like, I know in a year I want to be spending time with you. So if I know that, then I need to make sure that you can tell that that's what I'm feeling, right? Aw, well, I'm sending you a big ol' hug. I hope things get better, and if I can help, I would love to. I do have a lot of playlists as well if you're looking for a particular type of general reading. So we've got the High Priestess. Interesting that that's what I showed you at the beginning, right? High Priestess, Temperance, and Seven of Pentacles. I am proud of this person. This is somebody who's like gone from, but I don't want to clean my room, to look at, I made my bed. I don't know why I'm using cleanliness as the example. Maybe because this person feels like they cleaned up their life. Just little things that they knew they needed to do, but they never really did. And now it's like, I'm thankful to this person that I love, because not only have I found a really fabulous, like intriguing, captivating connection, but I've also been able to address some of those things that I had been ignoring for a while. And I feel better about myself because I took care of those things, right? So you have been a little bit of a catalyst for this person to take the steps that they've been meaning to take. Hello, Defy. I'm gonna ask you to just step it down a notch. You are more than welcome in the live chat, but it's a bold entrance there. Hello, Key Controller. How's it going? The Hanged Man, the Sun, and the Ace of Swords in the reverse. So they've been withholding this truth or withholding certain information. And I think it's in part because they really wanted to make sure that they weren't seeing what they wanted to see with you, see whether or not they could actually trust you. So there's been this indecisiveness, right? I know I could go this way. I know we could be happy, but what if I'm wrong? What if I'm just looking for the like validation of my hopes instead of the truth? But they do feel like some circumstance or some, maybe even just because of the separation, they can tell how you handle yourself. It's showing that you respect yourself and that you would be good to them. So with this Ace of Swords in the reverse, it's like maybe I was holding out, trying to find something that would make me not like you because I was afraid of a serious commitment. So if I'm honest with myself, you've actually proven yourself to be like quite the partner. So whatever has caused them to kind of take some space and maybe even go no contact, it's allowed them to see things more clearly and how much they want to be with you. So you may be feeling like this Eight of Swords, though. You may be feeling like you have no idea what's going on. You don't know where you stand with this person, right? Hello, A1. How are you doing? Ooh, that's a good question, Glenn. That is probably pretty important in terms of figuring out how to deal with that. Throwing things at you, though, is concerning. Sending you protective energy. You might want to look into, well, I'm sure you already have, to be honest. If anyone has any recommendations for Glenn, if you've dealt with that kind of thing, put it in the live chat. Hey, Misty, how you doing? I'm doing well, thank you, A1. Six of Cups, Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands. All right, so the individual who has been holding back is this Queen of Swords. Does not need to be a woman. Remember, the energy in these cards, it's not meant to say that this has to be a woman. But we do have the Queen of Swords with the Queen of Wands. And I really do feel like this is in part about their confidence. I feel better about who I am and what I want. Therefore, I feel like I can go after it, or I can communicate what I want and not have to be as fearful of rejection or some sort of loss, right? Maybe part of it is they feel like they understand that you're serious. Maybe you've been a little bit better at communicating. Hello, Rigoberto. How are you doing? Hello, Wendy. Four of Pentacles, Judgment, and the Lovers. Yeah, I've made my decision. So this is holding back. Four of Pentacles is almost like keeping a secret, right? But this was somebody who is not necessarily sure they should just give in, right? But Judgment, this is about someone who realizes what's important. You've got skeletons coming up out of the graveyard. So it's like, yeah, you're human, I'm human. Maybe there are things in our past that we're not proud of, but I do want to spend my time with you, and I do feel this soulmate connection to you. Ooh, I've got to be careful. I forget. Sometimes I get mad if there are boobies on the cards. Excuse me. They've made their choice. And it took them maybe a little bit longer than you wanted them to do that. The light, I think specifically, I found, oh wait, is it the smaller one or the bigger feather? I think it was in a store in Minneapolis. Oh God, I think it's called Awakenings. It's off of 42nd and Minnehaha, I think. I used to live up there. That was my favorite shop. I didn't get paid for that. But if you're near there, you should go check it out. Rigoberto, if I get the $15 tip threshold, then I will do personal questions at the end of the general reading. Yes, very good point, Peggy. So we have the Ten of Swords and the reverse. I think we have recovery for this person in the form of understanding trust. If I've had difficulties with others in the past, it may lead me to feel that I can't trust anyone. Trust is a big deal for most of us, right? It's not easy, and nor should it be easy to hand out trust randomly to people. But this is someone who had to take a moment, take a little bit of space to really make sure that they could trust you, and to also, I think, kind of chastise themselves on being so quick to assume that people are out to get them or are lying to them. They're realizing the importance of discernment, right? So we've got the Eight of Cups and we've got the Devil in the upright. This person acknowledges that they walked away because of fear. I was struggling to see how things could end without heartbreak, so I decided to break my own heart and walk away before anything even happened, right? Fear is at the root of a lot of pain, and it's, you know, one of those things that I think can allow for or enable some of the worst of, you know, what humanity has to offer. If we choose to live in fear, then we often walk away from love. But if we choose to make our decisions based in love, as I think this person's choosing to do now, then it enables you to be happy. There's just a risk that goes along with that, right? Hello, Laura. Hello, Miss Princess. How you doing? We've got the King of Cups in the reverse, the Sun, and the Eight of Swords. So they realized they had this choice. Either they stay in this Eight of Swords, King of Cups energy, where they're hiding from their emotions or hiding their emotions from you, or they can be honest with themselves about why they tend to self-sabotage or why they tend to walk away from romantic connections instead of letting themselves be happy. So they're looking at this return or this reconciliation with you as an opportunity to finally be happy and stop assuming that all of these things in their life are just, you know, ways that they could potentially get hurt. So a return of some optimism, perhaps, or just like even realism, right? Hello, Brittany. How are you doing? This is the Energy Oracle. We have blossoming abundance. This is because someone has actually decided to accept that abundance. If you are given opportunities and you expect the worst, you will miss out on things that could have gone very well for you. That's what this is all about. The Queen of Swords is acknowledging, I could let this by or pass me by and then regret it in 5 years, or I could be honest with myself about the fact that this is what I want. So with the World, we have reflection on the connections that they've had with others and an appreciation that maybe it's time to let love kind of take over, or surrender to those feelings. Oops. So we've got hostilities. Yeah, this is someone who's dealt with a pretty difficult connection in the past that made them a little bit wary about connecting to others and trusting. So they've had to acknowledge these are different people, these are different experiences, different relationships, and I can't judge them as if they were the same thing, or I can't judge everyone because of one person that I dealt with, or even, 3 or 4, right? Yes, we've missed you. Hello, Peter. How are you doing? Hello, John. What's going on? Ooh, that rhymed. I didn't even plan that. So we have the Kipper and poverty with the official person, which is telling me that we've got somebody who has acknowledged that they are in charge of making these decisions, right? They have to have this discernment, and they've been choosing to live a life of lack and avoiding these things that make them happy because it was seemingly too much to trust somebody. So maybe they were having to do everything for themselves. Maybe they were the type that felt like they had to be a bit of a lone wolf. Maybe they didn't even really have a lot of friends in their life, but they are coming to terms with that it's just basically time for them to let go of that pain, work through trauma if there is, and accept love. Because can I be all cheesy and say because you're worth it, because you deserve it? I'm going to be. I could try to do like a Maybelline commercial or something here, but flat out, when you are hurt, that doesn't mean that the only thing you are meant to accept for the rest of your life is more hurt from people you can't trust. There are people out there that you can trust, and when you find that, you have this opportunity. There's paths in front of you. Do you want to assume the worst of everyone, or do you want to take a risk and see if this is something where you'll be treated better? Because they're not all bad people, right? There's plenty of awesome people in the live chat, right? Meow. And I will tell you, one of my dreams is to hear that 2 of my subscribers have decided to get married. So, get with it. Aw, I remember that, Michael. It was a lot of work from you, what I remember. But they had the best names. I would guess they still do, hopefully. So we have irreconcilable differences, divorce, final, and commitment, long-term relationship, lockbox, closed in, trapped, and frustrated. So because I had this heartbreaking moment where a serious relationship of mine, blew up in my face, it's been hard for me to be ready to commit or to trust somebody enough to be in that commitment without feeling like it's going to make me feel trapped or make me feel frustrated that I trusted somebody again. But that's exactly what they're wanting to do. They're ready to let go of this past hurt and instead focus on the happiness that they could potentially have if they were able to give in and trust you, right? I know that's kind of a semantics question there, music. I think it would be different depending on who you ask. But I think for my purposes in the reading, I try to make sure that I'm accommodating for the fact that it's a general reading. So there's going to be multiple iterations of this story, little things that don't fit or, majority of it does. But not everyone is married. But there are still, high level commitments that people have been involved in. Maybe it's more like living together, right? But this is saying someone's ready for that commitment. Somebody's ready for taking that leap of faith and finding a way to let go of those past hurts and not let them block their happiness going forward. Hello, Candy. How are you doing? So we've got unconditional love, genuine, certain love. Even though I was looking to, you know, see if there was some chance of being hurt by you, even though I was worried about falling for someone, it seems like I can maybe just relax and trust you. And maybe I was looking for something toxic because that's all I've experienced. We have to be able to accept that sometimes things are better than we expect, right? So we have karmic and access granted. So whether or not they have potentially set aside opportunities in love because they assume everyone is a karmic, or because they assume that if they let somebody in, that's when it changes, right? There's plenty of people out there who feel like the moment things get exclusive or official is the moment that somebody stops trying, or the moment that I start worrying about whether or not I've let someone into my life that I shouldn't have. So there was some paranoia, but I think they have been able to address that, which is huge. Not everyone can do that, right? I don't remember which one. Oh, this is the weird cat. All right, this is the Ghost Tarot. Ooh, I just hit the bookshelf. Nothing fell down. We're okay. We're okay. Hello, Francis. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. Did I miss someone? I think I'm good. Yeah, exactly, John. That's all you can do. And some people won't get to the point where they're able to see you for who you are instead of seeing, you know, ghosts of the past relationships they've been in, right? So we've got the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse and Temperance in the reverse with the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, they see this as a hiccup or a little bit of a road bump in your path, but they know that they have the ability to course correct if you allow them, right? I may have assumed the worst, or I may have felt like we couldn't go, you know, the distance in terms of having a long-term relationship. And that's why I had to pull back. But now I see things more clearly. Now I can see what I want, and what I want is to be with you. I just had to have a little bit of a moment to myself to appreciate the differences and the nuances between the different relationships, right? Not everybody is the same. Not everybody is out there to be dishonest. So we have the Hanged Man in the reverse, a sign that they are no longer indecisive. They've made this decision and they're willing to take this leap of faith, or kind of like sacrifice a little bit, if you will, because they do believe that this is a relationship that they want to like actually partake in. So 9 of Swords in the reverse and the, is it 6 of Wands? Oh, I love this. They may have gotten some advice, some very good advice from a random stranger, or even someone that they didn't expect to give very good advice. With the 9 of Swords in the reverse, it could even be something as simple as watching something on social media. But they all of a sudden have this like rush of confidence and certainty that they don't need to be as concerned or blocked off as they used to be, right? So we have the Hermit in the reverse, the Sun in the reverse, and the 6 of Cups in the reverse. But the thing is, whoever they're in love with, whoever I'm reading, there is still a lack of knowing that they've had this achievement or this change in their perspective. So you're probably waiting on communication from them, or wondering what's going through their mind. Have they decided that they'd rather just be on their own or keep it moving? So this feels to me like you see this before they communicate, that they've been able to, you know, kind of let go of these conflicts that had been, it's like a paranoia that they had, that it was only a matter of time before you would hurt them or choose someone else over them. I think they're finally letting go of those fears, or that like assumption that people are just gonna cause problems. All right, let's go with the mermaids actually. And I am sorry if you hear my stomach growl. I probably can't go for as long of a reading as I normally like to do because I'm really hungry. And per usual, I forgot to eat before I started working. You know how we do. Hello, creature. How are you doing? Hey, you know, we all need a little bit of a break from that kind of thing now and then, but I hope you get to experience that again someday. Hello, how's it going, Every Adventures? I'm starving going hard. It's kind of silly that I haven't eaten anything yet, but it's okay. I'll get there. We've got Free Spirit. So it might have concerned this person a little bit how much of a free spirit you are. They may have conflated that with somebody who is non-committal. In other words, some people may look at free spirit and think that means promiscuous, or that means someone who doesn't like being tied down in a committed relationship, someone who doesn't like to be told what to do, right? But I think they are exaggerating what that really means for you and starting to appreciate that free spirit just means that you don't feel like you have to live by everybody else's rules, but you do have rules or morals, right? Hello, Junior. How are you doing? Sandwich? It's too early for a sandwich. Well, of course, you could do a breakfast sandwich. It's 11 a.m. I guess it's technically like brunch, right? No, I'm probably going to do a bagel and maybe with salmon. And bonus points to anybody who makes fun of my accent for the word bagel. So this person's discovered the truth about you. They've realized that they don't need to be so standoffish or concerned. They realize that maybe this is just them finally being lucky and having some abundance. Now, most people will look at this and say, well, yeah, Carmen, but look, it's talking about treasure. It's talking about pentacles. Abundance is not just, you know, things that you can touch that are going to make you rich, i.e. dollars or gold or, I don't know, a big yacht. Sometimes abundance is health. Sometimes it is blessings in your life. So this is someone who's acknowledging maybe it's just time for them to get some good karma and some blessings in their life. And you may be a part of that, right? So they feel like they've been waiting for this kind of connection for a long time. And if this is truly it, they don't want to miss out on it just because they're assuming the worst, right? That was the one thing that I missed the most when I lived in Mexico, because I mean, when you're in Mexico, you have plenty of good food options. Let me tell you, I was very pleased. But I would say the top two things that I missed down there is I couldn't use like their ice, so like I missed ice water, and then I missed bagels for sure. Oh, thank you, Misty. You're so sweet. I appreciate you. You let me know if you want me to pull you a couple cards, okay? Hello, Bellalina, or Bellalini. How are you doing? Who are you addressing, T-Bird? So we've got the Ace of Rupees. This is so perfect. We just pulled this card that says abundance, right? And here we have abundance on here. Yeah, this is somebody who's realizing they've hit the lottery with you, that they're very lucky to have found you, and they cannot risk losing you just because of bad situations they dealt with in the past. Thank you, Every Adventures. Welcome to the memberships. Happy to have you. Make sure you go check out all those additional shorts now. Hello, Jennifer. How are you doing? I don't blame you, Lemonade. All right, that sounds good. Let me write that down real quick. All I did was draw a heart. If you're wondering how I wrote that so quickly. Did I say hello to James? I think I did. What's up, James? So look, this is somebody who feels like they need to make sure that they actually pursue you and that they let go of these fears. They're feeling more confident. They realized that you make them feel good about themselves. And I think you might be surprised because this person's been a little bit distant or they've had to take a little bit of a break. But when they come back around, there's going to be determination, and I think you're going to be more open with those emotions. You're going to see the emotion on their face, right? They may even seem a little bit overwhelmed when they talk about making you wait and feeling guilty about not knowing at the beginning, right? So we've got the Page of Swords, the Tower in the reverse, and the Nine of Pentacles, or the Nine of Rupees in the reverse. I think this is someone who's going to say, hey, I know I've been a little bit MIA, or I know I've been on my own for a while. I know you've been wondering what's been going on, but I needed some time to myself so I could see what was really going on. They've had a change of heart. They see things differently, in part because they wanted to maybe be a little bit overly protective, right? They've let go of that. They definitely come through as a very independent person, but what they want is to be in a relationship. They acknowledge that that would be happiness for them, right? They're not running away from that anymore. Hello, Mac. How's it going? Did I say hello to Darnell? Hello. Greetings, dude. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. Aqua and Key fell in love. I told you I want somebody to get married over there. We've got the Horseman of Cups in the reverse, which would be the Knight of Cups in the reverse, and the Five of Rods, or the Five of Wands. So even though there was some sort of conflict or distance here, even though there was some question as to whether or not this person was going to pursue you, or if maybe they had discovered something about you that made them second guess that time with you, this is somebody who is now going to fight for the relationship. They have gotten through whatever that concern was, let go of that fear of the connection with you, and gone through some actual change, in part because they were worried that things might actually end between the two of you if they didn't come through with a serious offer. So no more of that stubbornness. This is somebody who's acknowledging it's time to let go of those painful memories and work towards a happier existence with you. So I do think you're going to have some communication soon that is talking about a serious commitment or how they feel for you. So we're going to do a quick one for Misty and get some information on love life. And then I'm going to go eat some breakfast. But I will be back in a little while for another reading. Don't you worry, you guys. All right, so for Misty, what do we have for the love life, please? What do we have for Misty's love life, please? This is the Tarot of the Nile, by the way. Ooh. Hello, Dana. Thank you for the tip. Let me write that down real quick. Connection, energy check-in. I got you. All right, so we've got the Eight of Wands, the Six of Wands, and the Lovers in the reverse. This is very interesting. So Misty, this feels to me like there is kind of a back and forth here with somebody. Fast communication or fast movement makes you feel like you've won someone over. The number 6 is important because we've got the Six of Wands, the Lovers, which is number 6, and now the Six of Pentacles. So 75% of the cards that I've drawn from the deck for you are number 6, which is interesting. So this could mean that it happens on the 6th of the month, but I feel like there's someone here who's effectively trying to lead you on. I don't know that this is happening right now. I feel like this is in the near future, but it could have started. This is someone who is trying to make it seem like they would be doing this equal give and take, but with the Hierophant in the reverse, they're being a little bit sneaky here. And I do feel like it's because they really enjoy your energy, but they're not returning that energy, or they're not giving to the connection. So this is basically advice for you to remember your worth and not settle for something less than what you deserve. Because I see that there's another person out here. If you are able to reject this offer or this like kind of half offer that isn't really good enough for you, there's a different offer that is much better and more your pace. So don't get fooled by someone who is, I don't know, dressing up a situationship and pretending it's a relationship. when there's someone out here who would actually be much more loving. This first opportunity, and maybe they have some association with the number 6. This first person isn't serious and they don't deserve you. So don't settle. All right, that's good, Misty. You know what to do. All right, and then I had one from Aqua Beauty, right? Do I need to change my spiritual plan? Thank you, Aqua Beauty. I'm gonna write that down real quick. Spiritual plan. And Dana, we've got the energy check-in with your relationship with Bond. What do we have on the relationship with Dana and Bond, please? What is the check-in on the energy for Bond with Dana? We've got the Page of Wands, Judgment, Temperance, and King of Cups. This feels to me like there is upcoming conversation or communication that lets you know about a decision that's been made. I do feel like this is somehow like a reversal or a change. So he may have seen things differently or is about to see things differently. And I do feel like this is going to be seen as good news to you. So maybe there's something that he had refused to do previously, but now he's on board. But I do think that there's a positive conversation, a loving conversation here coming up that makes you feel some sense of relief. So I like that for you. For Aqua Beauty, is there a change needed in the spiritual plan? Does she need to make a change to the spiritual plan? Yes. There is a need for some change here or some alteration. And with the Hermit, I do feel like you're going to get some guidance. And it may seem, what I'm seeing is like, this is like strange. It's like somebody writes it right in front of your face and you're like, oh, well, yeah, I need to do that. Or you're like walking through the mall and they have a TV on display and the message on the TV, even though it's not for your situation, applies to your situation and it makes sense. So you're going to see something like that, but it is absolutely about not investing in something and instead repurposing that energy for something else. And this is going to be something that right now, I don't think they want to tell you too much because we have the moon, but it could have to do with more of that gravitational energy or lunar energy. And we've got the 4 of Swords. I do feel like this is still about healing. You're going to get information or guidance in a strange place. So keep your eyes peeled in public places and like retail settings where you might get some strange direction. Okay. Ooh. Am I? I see Misty, Dana, and you. Are you saying there's something beyond that that I didn't see? Let me know, but I am gonna have to duck out because I'm hungry. 3 more? Like before Misty? Is that what you're saying? I don't see any. Anyone else see that? Hello, V. How are you doing? I'm so confused. Why isn't it showing it to me? Because I see where every adventure's joined the members, but I don't see anything beyond that and the 3 that I just did. Are you able to tell me what they are? Grindhard, was yours the feeling her energy one? Because I have that written down and I was trying to remember whether or not I did that. Did I answer that for you, Grindhard, yesterday? I'm just sitting here shuffling like it's, I don't know, a little buffering. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to go eat some breakfast. If there is folks on there, because I scrolled all the way up to the beginning and I couldn't find any other ones, I'll have to probably look at it tomorrow because it doesn't let me see live chat until like 12 to 24 hours later. But I scrolled all the way up to the front and I didn't see any. Grind hard if there was one from a different reading, let me know. But I love you all. I'm going to go eat. I'll see you on the next reading, okay? Toodles.